Are you listening? Damn.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Nerf Report, your go-to source for all of the week's gaming news, nerfed down into one show once a week, so you can focus on getting back to all of those video games. And of course, on this week's episode, everyone's talking about it. EA has canceled yet another Star Wars video game. So we dive into the trash compactor of craziness that is Star Wars EA. But before we talk about any of that, here are your top headlines. Crossplay. To a non-gamer, this may sound like a form of ancient Roman torture, but in the world of gaming, crossplay allows gamers on Xbox or PlayStation to play with other gamers on other platforms. Up until now, Fortnite was the only game to offer true crossplay between PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo, but this week, it looks like Rocket League has finally joined the fray. In an announcement from Psyonix, with special thanks to all of our friends and colleagues at PlayStation, we are thrilled to announce that starting right now, Rocket League has entered the PlayStation Crossplay Beta program. Players on PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and Steam can now randomly matchmake with or against each other in all online match types. Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass library has some new games on the way for the month of January. Starting January 17th, the Lego Movie video game and We Happy Few will be available to all Game Pass subscribers. And on January 24th, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor and Saints Row the Third will both be available for Xbox Game Pass subscribers. And for you first-time subscribers out there, Xbox is currently offering the first month of Xbox Game Pass for only $1. Well, a French retailer may have just spoiled the latest Assassin's Creed Odyssey DLC expansion for us. And Walmart Canada responded to the leak by saying, "We didn't spoil it this time, eh?" French retailer Micromania has listed Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered Edition that will be launching on March 29th of 2019. Assassin's Creed 3 originally launched in 2012 on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 and took Assassins to the American Revolution. When asked about the leak on Twitter, Micromania responded by saying, "Hello, this is the date that the editor told us indeed." A group of data miners have discovered a list of Super Nintendo games hidden in the code of Nintendo Switch Online that many are speculating could be on their way to the Nintendo Switch Online service. The list of games includes games like Breath of Fire 2, Contra 3, Demon Crest, F-Zero, Kirby's Dream Course, Kirby's Dream Land 3, Kirby Superstar, Pilot Wings, Poppin' Twimby, Star Fox, Star Fox 2, Stunt Race FX, The Legend of the Mystical Ninja, The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Yoshi's Island, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Mario All-Stars, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Super Punch-Out, and Super Soccer. That's a lot of supers. Well, a Twitter user by the name of Oatmeal Dome fed into the speculation by tweeting, "I was looking through the NES Switch app with Cappuccino Heck and Simon1844. I found 4 emulator types. Kachi Kachi, which is the NES Classic, Canoe, which is the Super Nintendo Classic, and Hayoko and Count. This could mean there will be 2 new classic consoles and or 3 new consoles for the Switch." So, here's to N64 and GameCube games coming to the Switch, and here's to this channel not blowing up in my face.
Now for something completely different. Yeah.
Star Wars. If you're a longtime viewer of the Nerf Report, you'll know that this franchise defined my childhood. And as a gamer, Star Wars video games have held a very close place to my heart. Honestly, I will never forget riding swoop bikes on Tatooine in Shadow of the Empire, or pulling a Star Destroyer out of the sky in Force Unleashed. Who could forget fighting in the Clone Wars as Mace Windu, or sneaking my PlayStation Portable in high school so I could play Star Wars Battlefront with my classmates. Sorry, Mom. But recently, it seems that Star Wars video games have hit a snag. And this week, EA has announced that they have canceled yet another Star Wars video game, which marks the second Star Wars game that EA has canceled in the last 5 years. But why the hell would EA cancel a Star Wars game? Who's really at fault in all of this? Well, this is starting to sound like a brand new segment that I'd like to call Gaming PI. So, where do we begin? It was the spring of 2013. EA was on the hunt for a new IP, and Star Wars was the blonde dame looking to be developed. And before you could say Yankee Doodle Dandy on a hot summer day, the two signed a multi-year licensing agreement that promised to be the best thing that had ever happened to the Star Wars franchise. Fast forward to 2015, and EA unveils Star Wars Battlefront, a first-person shooter game that transports gamers to the planet of Hoth, Tatooine, Endor, Jakku, and Sullust. Now the thing is, EA, they promised a bright future for Star Wars fans. They even promised an exciting linear action-adventure Star Wars project, directed by none other than Uncharted's Amy Hennig, which was being developed by Visceral Games. The game even had a codename Ragtag. That was up until Visceral was murdered. Murdered by none other than EA. On the October of 2017, EA announced that it would be shutting down Visceral Games. In fact, at this moment, EA famously said, "As we kept reviewing the game, it continued to look like a much more linear game, which people don't like as much today as they did 5 years ago, or 10 years ago." That's cute. I'm just gonna put this right here, and while I'm at it, I'll put this right here. Maybe this. Anyway, back to the story. EA also announced that they would be transferring the development of Project Ragtag to another studio, although it would be completely revamped. That studio being EA Vancouver. And by revamped, EA planned on turning Project Ragtag into an open-world game built from the ground up, with a new codename called Project Orca. According to Kotaku's Jason Schreier, Project Orca was very early in development, but involved playing as a scoundrel or bounty hunter who could explore various open-world planets and work with different factions across the Star Wars universe. But unfortunately, just like Visceral, Project Orca was murdered. Murdered by EA. EA announced this week that Project Orca has been scrapped in favor for a smaller-scale Star Wars project that fits better into EA's launch schedule, with a planned launch of 2020. That's right. EA scrapped not one, but two really cool-sounding Star Wars games. And the most recent cancellation was due to the impatience of the corporate mind that is EA. And finally for this week, we come to that noise. Of course, signifies that we are running out of time and coming close to the end of the show. So, in order to cover all the week's remaining news, we must initiate a segment that I like to call Nerfed in 60 Seconds. Every single week, we have so much news to talk about and so little time to do it. So we take all the week's remaining news, put 60 seconds on the clock, and try to cover it as fast as humanly possible without running out of breath, passing out, or dying. Now, a lot of you ask me, how do you do this segment so well? Well, a little liquid courage never hurt. So with that in mind, let's put 60 seconds on the clock. Thunder noise! And go. Over 1 million players have downloaded the Resident Evil 2 one-shot demo. That's extremely impressive. Tokyo Disney announced that they will be getting Kingdom Hearts-themed hotel rooms, and sign me up for that. Rockstar Games is being sued by real-life Pinkertons. Just Cause 4 sold over 370,000 copies in its first week. Games Done Quick raised over $2.3 million for charity this week. Congratulations to everyone involved. Fortnite was the most played Switch game in 2018. PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds raised $1 billion in digital revenue in 2018. And just to give you a comparison, Fortnite did roughly $2.8 billion in digital revenue just for 2018. Video games. Don't complain that you have no games to play, because 30,000 games are sitting on Steam right now. Ronda Rousey will voice act Sonya Blade in Mortal Kombat 11. And finally, Power Rangers are getting a video game. Power Rangers Battle for the Grid is coming soon. That is it for Nerfed in 60 seconds, and that is it for this week's episode of the show. If you like what you saw, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and please share it with your friends. As always, my name is Bryant Chappel. You are you, and this has been the Nerf Report. Thanks for watching.